w of t dt is equal to integral 0 to 1. This is t plus I into t square dt. Okay, so therefore you will be getting as this is t square by 2 under 0 to 1 plus I into t cube by 3 under 0 to 1. So you will be getting as this is 1 by 2 plus I into this is 1 by 2 minus 0 plus I into this is 1 by 3 minus 0 by 3 or 0, what it is. Okay, you will be getting as 1 by 2 plus I by 3. Now this is integral 0 to 1 w of t dt which we got. This is the value which we got. Okay, we'll take fundamental theory of calculus now. So we'll assume that the capital W of t is equal to t square by 2. We are just assuming the value t square by 2 plus I into t cube by 3. We are just taking that capital W of t is equal to t square by 2 plus I into t cube by 3, where t belongs to, where t is nothing but belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, but this is what we have. Now we'll try to find out w dash of t. W dash of t is nothing but this is what? This is t plus I t square. T plus I t square. Now w dash of t we got as t plus I t square. This is what? W of t according to the theorem. This is w of t according to the theorem. Now what we have? Integral 0 to 1. Integral 0 to 1. We can say that integral 0 to 1 w of t is nothing but equal to, we have w of 1 minus w of 0 according to formula. Capital W of 1 minus W of 0, because we have integral a to b, w of t dt is nothing but equal to, we have capital W of b minus capital W of a. According to that we have written in the form of like this. W of 1. What is W of 1? Means W of 1 means you have to substitute here. So this will be 1 by 2. Now you got as 1 by 2 plus then 1 by 2 plus this is again 1 by 2. What you got here is 1 by 2 plus the other one is 1 by 2 plus I by 3. This is W of 1 minus W of 0. This is 0 by 2. 0 only. That is also 0. So total this is 0. So you got as 1 by 2 plus I by 3. So therefore what we got here is, we have proved the RHS also and we have proved the LHS also. So therefore we can say that integral 0 to 1 W of t dt is nothing but equal to 1 by 2 plus I by 3. Now this is how we can do the problem by using the fundamental theorem on the integral calculus. Now we will try to prove another another simple problem, but it's very easy to make use of this formula. So therefore we'll go for the another topic. The topic is nothing but the arcs. We are taking one more topic called as arcs. It's very important to know the arcs. Okay, so what are the arcs we have? Okay, so that an arc gamma is a continuous complex valued function. An arc is a gamma is a complex valued function on a closed interval alpha comma beta, that is gamma is an arc if gamma from alpha comma beta from alpha comma beta maps to some complex region, see, is defined by gamma of t is equal to x of t plus I y of t, where t belongs to alpha comma beta. This is alpha comma beta. Okay, this is how we can write. And where x of t comma y of t are continuous. These are continuous real function on alpha comma beta. They are nothing but continuous. These two are nothing but continuous. So gamma of t can be taken as x of t plus I y of t. It's an equation of an arc. Okay, that can be written as gamma. Okay, and we call z is equal to, we may take z is equal to z of t that is equal to x of t plus I y of t under t belongs to alpha comma beta, closed alpha comma beta, to be a equation of the arc gamma. Now this also can be taken as equation of the arc. Z of t is equal to x of t plus y of t is the equation of the arc gamma. So Z of t is nothing but x of t plus I y of t, where t belongs to alpha comma beta, and this x of t and y of t is also should be continuous real function on alpha comma beta. Now this is the equation you have to remember. There are another simple definition, properties are there for the arcs that we are going to see. Okay, now let us, what we have taken is z of t is equal to some x of t plus I y of t, where t is greater than equal to alpha, less than equal to beta, is the equation of the arc gamma. Okay, then let us suppose if we take another point in this, that is, let us take z is equal to z of t such that where t greater than equal to alpha, less than equal to beta is an arc. Then we have let t is equal to then phi of tau. I am taking t as a phi of tau in such a way that the tau is nothing but greater than or equal to, this tau greater than or equal to alpha dash, less than or equal to some beta dash. Then it is a non-decreasing mapping that maps the interval alpha comma beta dash, onto alpha beta. You know, it maps alpha dash comma beta dash onto alpha beta. Then what we can write here? Then we can write z is equal to z of phi of tau. It is a phi of tau defines the same arc as z of t. It defines the same arc as z of t. In this case, we can write that arc z is equal to z of phi of tau, and is obtained by the change of the parameter in z is equal to z of t. Okay, so therefore what we can say, this is nothing but a change of the parameter, such that whenever we change, whenever the changes are there, then we can say that z of phi of tau is also can be taken in the form of like this. If t is nothing but phi of tau, where t changes to the alpha to beta dash, alpha dash to beta dash. Then we can say that z of phi of tau is a change of the parameter in z is equal to z of t. This is another important point which we can able to see. The next point is, if z of t is equal to x of t plus I y of t, then z of t is equal to x of t plus I y of t, where t belongs to alpha to beta. Next, another point we are discussing. If suppose z dash of t exists, means x dash of t plus I y dash of t under t belongs to alpha to beta. Whenever it is exists, we can say that there exists a differentiable arc of z dash of t. It is a gamma is, or we can say that gamma is differentiable. When it is existed, we can say that gamma is differentiable. Whenever z dash of t is not equal to 0, it's very important point. Z dash of t is equal to x dash of t plus I y dash of t, where x dash of t and y dash of t is also existed, then we can say that gamma is differentiable. As well as if z dash of t is not equal to 0, then what we can say? We can say that gamma is said to be, the arc gamma is said to be regular. It is a regular arc. We can say that it's a regular arc. When z dash of t not equal to 0, then gamma is said to be a regular arc. Suppose it is a regular arc, and whenever z dash of t is nothing but equal to not equal to 0, gamma is said to be regular. As well as there exists a tangent here, whenever it is nothing but has like this, means whenever z dash of t is not equal to 0, has a tangent. It has a tangent whose direction is determined by argument of z dash of t, whose direction is determined by argument of z dash of t. So therefore z dash of t is nothing but x dash of t plus I y dash of t. Then we can say that gamma is differentiable. Whenever the gamma is differentiable, I can say that gamma is to be regular. Whenever a gamma is regular, then I can say that there exists a tangent such that whose direction is nothing but argument of z dash of t. This is one more important point we can able to get from the arcs. And gamma is means arc is also can be called as a piecewise regular. That is, gamma is an arc is said to be piecewise regular. Piecewise regular if there is a portion, the portion is what? That is, t naught is equal to alpha less than t1 and less than t2 and so on, less than some tn, which may be less than some beta, and then such that gamma is continuous on alpha comma beta and is regular on each subintervals. It is regular on each subintervals. Let us take that subintervals in the form of tj minus 1 comma tj, where j is nothing but equal to 1, 2 and so on. Okay, so it is a piecewise regular, and there exists a portion between t naught to some beta, the alpha and the beta. We may have that such that gamma is going to be continuous and it is regular, means it is differentiable on each and every interval. If it is differentiable on each and every interval, then we can say that gamma is said to be a piecewise regular. And one more important point, gamma is said to be simple. Gamma is said to be simple arc, or I can say simple arc, or I can say Jordan arc. Jordan arc. Gamma is said to be simple arc or Jordan arc Jordan arc if z dash of t is 1 1. If z dash of z of t is 1 1, I can say gamma is a simple arc or Jordan arc. Whenever you wanted to define that arc as a simple arc or Jordan arc, then z of t should be 1 1 1 1. Then we can say that it is nothing but a simple arc. Otherwise, it's not a simple. There is another important point you can remember is gamma is said to be closed. When gamma is said to be closed, gamma is said to be closed curve. Closed curve. If z of alpha minus z of alpha is equal to z of beta, the two end points of an arc, if it is equal, then I can say that gamma is a closed curve. Means generally the curve will be defined in the form of like this. This is nothing but a curve. This is nothing but a gamma curve. Okay, it is having initial point alpha and the final point beta. If z of alpha is nothing but equal to z of beta, there will be one more curve like this. Z of alpha is nothing but equal to z of beta. It's a closed curve. Totally it is a closed curve. So therefore we can say that it is nothing but a simple, it is nothing but we can say a closed curve whenever z of alpha is equal to z of beta. So arc will be defined always in the form of like this, a continuous arc. This is nothing but gamma. It's an arc. Arc will be in the form of like this. Okay. Okay. Next we can remember one more important point. Important point is gamma is said to be simple closed curve. Simple closed curve. Simple closed curve. If when it is said to be simple closed curve, if it is 1 1. If it is 1 1 and z of alpha is nothing but equal to z of beta, then we can say that it is a simple closed curve. We can take it as simple closed curve. If it is satisfied that it is 1 1 and z of alpha is equal to z of beta, then we can call it as it's a simple closed curve. Okay. Then one more important point regarding the arcs. That important point is if suppose gamma the opposite gamma, the opposite arc, that is nothing but minus gamma. Opposite arc is nothing but minus gamma of gamma is defined by the equation that is z is equal to z of minus t, where t is greater than or equal to minus beta less than or equal to minus alpha, minus beta to minus alpha. Now this is called as the opposite arc. For the gamma, this positive gamma, this is a positive gamma, this is minus gamma is nothing but opposite arc. We will define in the form of like this. Okay. Next important point, one more point regarding the arcs, that is a constant function z of t defines a point curve. It is defines a point curve. A constant function is defines a point curve. Okay. Then one more important point, the last point regarding the curves is like this. There's an important point is suppose for example let t naught belongs to alpha comma beta, open alpha comma beta, and z of t is nothing but equal to x of t plus I y of t, x of t plus I y of t, where t belongs to a closed alpha comma beta. Beta is a closed curve. Then a new closed curve can be formed. New closed curve is defined by or given by. I can say given by in the form of like this. That is z is equal to z of t for t belongs to, for z of t where t is greater than or equal to t naught less than or equal to beta, this is the range. Then next z of t minus beta plus t naught, t minus beta plus sorry, plus alpha for beta less than or equal to t less than or equal to t by t naught plus beta minus alpha less than or equal to t naught plus beta minus alpha. If we can able to change, this is called shift of gamma. Shift of gamma. If at all we wanted to have this, we are just shifting the points towards the another one, such that we may take the points in the form of z of t is equal to t in between t naught to beta, but z is nothing but z of t minus beta plus alpha for t greater than or equal to beta less than t naught plus beta minus alpha. Then we can say that the entire one we call as a shift of gamma. This is how we have the arc properties. I can say arc properties. These are arc properties. Once again, we'll have this. Once again, see, an arc is defined as gamma. That is, gamma of t is nothing but equal to x of t plus I y of t. This is, once again I am telling you, this is t belongs to alpha, gamma, beta. Then gamma of t is nothing but x of t plus I y of t, where x of t and y of t is nothing but a continuous real function defined on alpha, gamma, beta. It is, and then z of t can be taken as x of t plus I y of t. It is also I y of t, where t belongs to alpha, gamma, beta. There, this is the equation of the arc. This is called equation of arc gamma. It's the equation of arc gamma. Okay, and z dash of t exists. Z dash of t is equal to x dash of t plus I y dash of t, where x dash of t, y dash of t should be exist. Okay, then we can say that it is differentiable. Gamma is differentiable. Okay, gamma is differentiable. Whenever a gamma is differentiable, means z dash of t is not equal to 0, then we can say that gamma is differentiable as well as gamma is regular. If it differentiable and not equal to 0, then gamma is regular. Whenever a gamma is regular and z dash of t is nothing but not equal to 0, there exists a tangent and whose direction is determined by argument of z dash of t. Now we are going to determine the direction. Means whenever z dash of t is not equal to 0, gamma is said to be regular. Whenever this condition exists and there will be a tangent is going to exist, and whose direction will be determined the argument of z dash of t. This is what we can have. Then gamma is said to be a simple curve. Gamma is said to be simple curve or Jordan curve. Simple curve, Jordan curve. Then we can, when it is possible, when z of t is 1 1. When it is 1 1, we say that it's a simple curve or a Jordan curve. And simple curve, when gamma is said to be, this is gamma, then gamma is said to be a closed curve. When it's said to be closed curve, if and only if z of alpha is nothing but equal to z of beta, means the 2 points, end points, if they are equal, then we can say that gamma is a closed curve. Again, gamma is a simple closed curve. Gamma is a simple closed curve. When it is possible simple closed curve, if z of t is 1 1 1 1 and z of alpha is equal to z of beta, then we can say that gamma is a simple closed curve. Okay, now this is what we have discussed. And opposite curve is minus gamma of, gamma is defined as z is equal to z of minus t, where t is greater than or equal to minus beta less than or equal to minus alpha. This is opposite gamma. Now these are all points you have to remember in order to solve the different problems regarding the arcs. This is very important. If you are able to remember all these points, then we are able to solve. They may ask us to find out whether the given gamma is a simple curve, Jordan curve, or simple closed curve, or you can say it is 1 1, or we can say that if giraffe alpha is nothing but equal to giraffe beta or not, like that they may ask the questions in different manner. So you have to remember these all important points regarding the arcs. Okay, thank you.